Roger qui comme un Dieu. Okay, let's do the four limitless contemplation. May all beings have happiness and create the causes of happiness. May they all be free from suffering and creating the causes of suffering. May they find that noble happiness which can never be tainted by suffering. Attain universal impartial compassion, free of worldly bias towards friends and enemies. Semjen damji dewatang deweju tang din pajutik, dungal tang dungal chichu tang trawajutik, dungal mepe dewa tampatang minra wajutik, nearing chaktang ni tang trawe tang nom chimpo lani pajutik. Okay, so today, because people asked me, obviously not what they want or they can't get here today, but that means that basically we can really have, you can really ask your individual things, you can ask as much individual interaction with me as you want, so that we could do this really, really well. Because I'm going to do a short, sorry, let me just let you in. A short full morning practice for busy people, which is really important, because what I want to say to all of you is that it's so important that your morning practice has got total heart. I don't care how long it is. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, if it's 5 minutes, if it's a half an hour, if it's 2.5 hours. It doesn't really matter. The point of the matter is that it's really important that you get all the ingredients from that practice. And in that Dorji Chung, while I'm on it, you know, the next one is a refuge, the little refuge prayer, which is 4 lines. And that one also has refuge and bodhicitta, which I'll talk about in a moment. But I just want to say that in all these practices, these little practices are included. So if you do one of those practices, you've really got all of this included. But what's important, Dzongsa Khyentse Rinpoche says, the practice must bring you nearer to the truth. Now you have to seriously ask yourself, is my practice a little rote practice because I'm saying, well, I'm doing something just to keep myself busy or to keep myself enlightened? Or is it really bringing you nearer to the truth? Because it's not that every day is going to be an exciting practice, but you should definitely be having days when things are happening for you, little dawnings, when you realize things, when you suddenly think, wow, this is amazing, whatever the case is. That should be happening to you when you are really doing a practice with heart. And you know, I don't know how you felt, Denny, but Kathy actually said in the evening group, she said she loved doing the prayers in English at Samiling, because you know, Drupal makes you do them in English, and we've got the English Dorji Chung that he translated into English with a song and everything. And we must try it again, Bern, and see how people feel about it, because it's perfectly in order to do your practice in English. And all these high lamas are telling us to do it in English, that at least we understand. And if you are doing it in Tibetan, at least read the English lots of times when you can, to know what you are doing. There's absolutely no point in doing anything by rote. It's useless. And remember the Buddha's story. The Buddha said, he said to his monks, what about the raft? He said, if you've got a raft and you build this raft with all its things and you cross the river with this raft, he said, monks, what should we do? He said, what should we do? I'll come to you now, Karen. What should we do when you come to the other side with the raft? And the monk said, you leave it. You leave the raft on the other side and you walk on, you leave it for somebody else. Now the raft is the practice, the prayers. It's only there to help you cross the river. There's no other purpose for it. It's not there for you to clutch onto the prayers. There's certain ingredients that you should have in a practice if you're really wanting to gain enlightenment. But I'm going to give that to you completely differently today, because I really feel that it's very important for you not to clutch onto the prayers, but to clutch onto your heart, to feel your heart and know, oh my goodness, I'm doing refuge. Oh my goodness, I'm applying bodhicitta. You must know as you're doing those little prayers that you're doing that, because otherwise there's absolutely no purpose to it at all, okay? And that's very important. And I wanted to just read you this beautiful little Sufi wisdom, the story of a pearl. A single drop of rain fell from a cloud in the sky. It was filled with shame when it saw the sea so wide. Next to the sea, then, who am I? If the sea exists, then how can I? While looking down on itself with the eyes of contempt, an oyster in its shell took it in for nourishment. And so it was that its fate was sealed by this event, and it became a famous pearl fit to adorn a king's head. Having descended to the depths, it was now exalted to the heights. On the portal of non-existence, it went knocking until it finally was transformed into being. Now, I like that little poem because it's really a lovely thing, because that's what we're doing. In the practice, we're transforming ourselves into being who we really are. Like I said in the Vajrayana, you're taking your usual identity, Melanie, Denny, whoever, Damika, Marion, you're taking your usual identity and you're changing it to the identity of the deity when you're doing a deity practice. But what is that deity? Is it external? No, it's internal. When you're offering the mandala of your heart, you're offering what is inside you. And I always remember Rob Priest saying, if you're a Westerner, offer what you've got. Doesn't matter if you don't offer these things that are in the Buddhist teaching. I offer you Mount Meru and the 4 continents and the beautiful Pure Lands and this and that. And sometimes we do the offering and we're not even there. Don't even do it. You don't even have to do it. You can just say, I'm offering you my doggies, my shrine room, my children, my family, my house, my delicious food. I'm offering you my teaching, my counseling. I'm offering you everything. You can put that into your mandala. It's important that you feel that you know the principle of what you're offering, not what is in Buddhist. Dzongkar Khyentse Rinpoche keeps on saying that the traditions of Tibetans, we're never going to be Tibetans, he says. The traditions of Tibetans are often foreign to us. Now, a lot of us have learned these traditions and now we're perfectly comfortable with them. But when you're not, sometimes I get a very difficult prayer and I go, oh no, not for me, thank you. You've got to adapt your practice to you, to what you need, to what you feel. Otherwise, you don't have a hope in hell of enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you give over your intellect and you give out your heart. Sometimes I lie on the floor of my shrine room and I go, oh, Guru Rinpoche. Now, who's Guru Rinpoche? Where's Guru Rinpoche? Does he exist? Yeah, there are lots of pictures of him and statues of him on my shrine. But does he exist? No, he's inside me. But still, we can have our little moment of having a daddy out there that we need to hold on to and that we need, because we want to be like him. We want to be exactly like him. So sometimes I lie on the floor of my shrine and I go, oh, Guru Rinpoche, I'm so tired, but I offer you everything that I've got. Whatever I've got left, I offer it to you. And then I tell him all the things that I've got left that I can offer to him. It's from my heart. Do you understand that? it's really important that you do your practice from the heart. I do not care if you do 5 minutes of practice, but those 5 minutes had better be absolutely deeply heartfelt. I love watching Evie when she does her prayers here in my shrine room, because she's so dedicated. She watches every word, and then I watch her. She's really devoted to what she's doing. If you're not, don't do it. If you find it strange, don't do it. Do what makes your heart feel connected to your Buddha nature, to your real nature, that makes you feel safe. And one of the things that Dzongsa Khyentse Rinpoche said was that when you take refuge, it's because you need someone you can trust, something you can trust. I tell you something, I don't trust anything in this land anymore. Okay, I really don't. I mean, as I read in the paper, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, they're doing that. And I think, oh, another thing's going to fall off the cliff. You know, it's just whatever they do. A woman yesterday at the shops was telling us, she said, can you imagine? There was this pipe in the street that was leaking. So on a Sunday, they sent 8 people to fix it. Okay, now think about it. Why would they send 8 people to fix one pipe? Because they get double pay on a Sunday. So they're all willing to come out. Okay, guaranteed that pipe does not get fixed, or it gets temporarily fixed. And next week, it's piping again with water. Okay, it's just so sad. So we don't have any trust. So when we see a Buddha character, someone who has attained enlightenment, we need to have trust in them. And so that's why we do refuge. So we've got something to trust. You know, I trust so much in my refuge that whatever happens here, wherever I go, whatever I do, I trust, because I know I'm giving myself over to them. I don't trust anything physically in this country anymore. I don't think anybody really trusts it. But the bottom line that I'm trying to make today is, why practice? And why regular, consistent practice? Because we need to attain enlightenment, but enlightenment is already in us. But it's really difficult because we are the diamond in the mud. The diamond never gets mucked by the mud. When you take the diamond out and you wash away the mud, there is the diamond. And that's what we're really, really doing. We are washing away the mud of incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. Just think of your habits. You know that beautiful story I remember when the guy was on the horse and riding, and someone on the ground said, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" He said, "I don't know, ask the horse." Okay, now the horse is your habits, your habit momentum that pushes you right along, okay, that takes you along before you've even realized it. So in this practice, you're awakening to your habit and how much you do and how much you're stimulated by it and alive in what you do, so that you can wake up. Your Buddha nature is what really, really is consistent. Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche says, if you practice one deity, you practice them all. If you have a long cord of light bulbs, if you have a long cord of light bulbs, okay, and you light the electricity, then they all light up at the same time, every single one of them. So it's really important that if you have a light bulb, that you light up all of the bulbs at the same time, all the deities of practice. And when we do refuge, you need a place of safety in your practice. It's so important, and in your life. And you've got to ask yourself, do I want inner refuge? Do I want outer refuge? Do I want both outer and inner refuge? These are very important questions. Only you can ask yourself, and you can butt in any time that you want to, okay? But it's really, really important that we look at what do we need in practice? What do we need in the morning? Now, as I said to you, as we were doing Chenrezi, I actually said to you that if you look at Chenrezi, all the things I'm going to give you are already in that practice. So if it's easier for you to just do the practice, that's fine, but you still need to know each of the aspects of your practice. Now, if you look at practice, it's very interesting. James Lowe gives a beautiful outline and he says, what is practice? He says there are 4 aspects of practice, which is really important. 1, your view. That's what I've been talking about, your view, your own nature from the very beginning is infinite emptiness without any limitation, not dependent on anything whatsoever, okay? Tawa, which is the word for view in Tibetan, means to see. This is how to experience. You have a view to see, and you need to get used to this new kind of experience to both maintain it and relax into it. So the view is very important, because if you keep the view, even if you're having a lousy day, and trust me, I often have lousy days of practice. They're not all stimulating and insightful and all of that. Some days I think, oh, I'm so bored, I'm so restless and everything, but I still do it. And it's okay, because I know that if I go just past that, if I keep the view of what I'm doing, never by rote, Steve, sorry you missed the beginning of what I was saying, but still, never by rote, okay? Always with the heart. Drop it if it's by rote. It's of no value to you. Only when it's your heart, when your heart is awakened with the practice, is it worth anything? Can you get enlightened? So the view is the first aspect of practice. The second aspect, very briefly, is your meditation. And what is your meditation? Okay, every day I get these texts from Eric, every day, about if you haven't achieved shamatha, then you can't achieve anything else, blah, 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 blah. He must send me about 20 videos a day. I can't even look at them, okay, because I can't do it. And I keep telling him, of course I'm in favor of shamatha, but the bottom line is, what is shamatha? It's calm abiding, so that you can look in and recognize, know your mind. That's the only reason. So yes, you do have to do some shamatha. You do have to calm your body. You do need to try and get it properly. But then for a lot of us, we've done this for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And you've got to look in. What is your calm abiding about? It's to look into the ocean of your mind, which is really important. So your meditation, he says, is an opportunity to try to shift your view. It's a very important thing to try to shift your view. He says meditation should be clear like the sun, free of clouds. What are clouds? What are the clouds in the sky of your mind? They're your assumptions, your karmic habits, your impulses, your personal history. All these we create out of some kind of notion of who we are. And we aren't any of these things. In 5 minutes, this life's going to be over and we're going to be someone else, some other identity, unless we free ourselves. So that's what your meditation, you want to have. If there are more clouds than the sun, then you try and lift the clouds off so clarity is there, and then the view manifests you out. So there can be lots of clouds in the sky. The idea is not to hook onto any of them, not to attach. Just let them dissolve like they always do. This morning it was what we call pitch cloudy. And now I can see the clouds are dissolving of their own accord, and then the blue sky will shine through. So that's the second one, meditation. The third aspect of practice is your conduct, okay? Your conduct, how you are. everything you do when you're not meditating. Now, it's interesting because James Lowe asks the question, how does a Buddha behave? How do we see a Buddha? Are there marks they have? Do they have hierarchy? Do they have power? If you want to know, he says, then look at what your guru does. And there's an equal taste, because the Buddha will just do whatever manifests. He'll manifest anything to benefit all the beings. That's your practice, to benefit beings, to benefit beings, to benefit beings. You've got to put it into your practice. And you don't have to say bodhicitta from a fancy text. You can say it in simple words. I really want to do this practice. And then I want to benefit all beings who are suffering. And you can think of the people that are suffering. You can say, I take this on. Let all the people, I've got a toothache today. I've got a backache today. I take in all the people who've got backaches. I'm trying to help them. I'm dying. I take in all the sick people. That's bodhicitta. You must understand it with your heart, everybody, because it's really important. And then he says, look at your guru. Now, a guru often behaves not in a way we would behave. Our moms would often not approve of the behavior of the guru, because they don't have the same assumptions and negative emotions and all that kind of thing. They don't have that, okay? But looking at the guru, a Buddha, the most important thing is that a Buddha with all his qualities and all his beauty can manifest wherever he needs to, whoever is in trouble. Now, if you apply that principle in your conduct, wherever you are, I was trying to help somebody over the weekend who, if you say black, she says white. If you say green, she says blue. You know, one of those people that you just, whatever you say, you've said the wrong thing. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at that situation and I say to myself, you know what? I need to put the quality of pacification for this girl. Because if I give her a long lecture, she doesn't even hear it at all. So what I have to do is I have to say, I really understand how you feel. I really understand how you feel. I may not agree with it, but I really understand this is a tough one for you. Okay, now that is practice. You are taking your daily practice out, because I can't give this person what I know, because it doesn't bide for her. It goes over her head. Okay, she's very self-centered and she can only see her own thing. So what have I got to do? How would a Buddha behave? A Buddha would behave beautifully, as I told you. When that woman lost her children and her parents and she came naked to the Buddha, he actually was quite firm and he said, come to your senses. And then he put a beautiful blanket around her so nobody could see her nakedness. And then he started talking to her. You have to do it from where other people come. And that's what you're doing in your conduct. Wherever you are, you're not imposing yourself on others. You're looking at what they need. That is bodhicitta. That is your practice. You know, I remember Lama Yeshe saying to me when I looked at these notes on Holy Hour that he gave me, he said to me, you know, you're going to want to go into long retreat, but you're not going to do it in this lifetime. He said to me, your practice is service and teaching. That's what he said. Your practice is service and teaching. That's what I'm here to do. And when I stop doing it, goodbye, I must leave this earthly planet. Okay, the point of the matter is, look at your behavior. And then the fourth aspect of practice is called fruition or result, the result, to put it simply. Buddhahood is to recognize the nature of your own ground, your own basis. And what is that? Everything comes out of the Dharma Dhatu. Everything comes out of the essence. And all your faults and your limitations and the things you don't like about yourself are self-liberated because they were pure from the beginning. We just assumed they were rubbish. We got into anger and bitterness and depression and everything. All of those, when you know in the fruition who you are, they just dissolve so quickly if you don't interfere with them. If we don't, and he says, if we don't know what other people's realization is, we should treat everyone as if they are a Buddha, with infinite respect, with validation and belief in their potential and possibility. Lovely, isn't it? And you know, when the masters see all of us, you know, I try and do that with people like Putin. I try and wonder what his Buddha nature is like, how he can do what he's doing, taking children and taking them away from their parents and putting them to indoctrinate them in Russia and just bomb city after city after city and just wipe out populations and that kind of thing. I mean, where is he coming from? He's got lost in his assumptions completely and totally. It's really important that we see this and that when we look, we know that everybody has got that Buddha nature, and it's really important. Okay, I'm going to go on now, but just tell me if anybody wants to say anything, because I'm going to go on to what has to be included in the practice. And then you've got lots of choices, okay? Whatever appeals to you. The Buddha Dharma is so vast. The practices are so vast. There are thousands and thousands of practices. And I've got to say to all of you, just do yourself a favor and get one of those books with the plastic, you know, that you can put your prayers in. And every time you read something, a little prayer, a little book, a little poem, a little bardo prayer, a little this, a little that, whatever you read is really, really, really important. If you say, oh, I like that, photocopy it and put it into your folder. Now, I've got thick folders of all my prayers, 2 thick folders of all my prayers, and they're out in the bathroom when I'm getting dressed. You can have them in the kitchen when you're cooking. You can have them as you are tending to your animals. You can have them all over. And you keep doing all these little prayers. You know, I was thinking when I was looking for what I wanted to do for refuge for all of you, I was thinking to myself, oh, but I do in the bathroom, I'd even take refuge. And this book called the Dakini Teachings, okay, which is really, I'm sure, very available on one of, you know, whichever online thing you use, and I'm sure it's not that expensive. Okay, it's a collection of Padmasambhava's advice to the Dakini Yeshe Tsogyal. It's really such a beautiful, beautiful book. Okay, and I'm sure you can find it very easily. If you're in South Africa, I'm sure you can find it on Loot Books or Take a Lot very easily, and it gets delivered for you. And it's his oral instructions. Now, one of the chapters in this book I read many years ago, it's called Taking Refuge. And taking refuge is the basis of all your Dharma practice. It's got to be in your Dharma practice. Okay. And he tells Yeshe Tsogyal, there's an outer way of refuge. There's an inner way of refuge. There's a secret way of refuge. Now, I like to do all 3. And trust me, you can do them in 3 minutes flat. But you've got to concentrate, okay? Now, if you get this chapter, it's such an amazing chapter. And then it's got the little prayers. So it tells you all the time how you take refuge. I'm coming to refuge in a moment, but I'm just saying, like when I read that, I took the pages of that chapter, I highlighted the little prayers in that book, and I put it in my plastic folder. Now, I haven't got time to do it in my practice, but it's absolutely amazing because every morning I do all the refuge prayers, outer, inner, and secret, which are all in that little chapter. And I've got other things to read in between, I photocopied the whole chapter. Now, you see, that's how you develop. That's how you develop your practice, your understanding. Well, that's my way of doing it. You can say, no, I don't want to do that. That's no problem, because it's got to fit for you. But it's really important that what you find in all the literature and what you find all over that makes sense to your being, photocopy it, put it in your plastic folder, because it's really worth it. I do it every day. And then I was thinking of the inner refuge. I thought, where's a lovely inner refuge prayer for you this morning? And then I said, but Melanie, you say one off by heart every day. So then I know I say it. And so it's so easy for me to come to it, because I say all the refuge prayers all the time, because I want to trust in what I am doing. Now, a lot of you go, oh, Melanie, you can do this, you can do that. I can't do it. That is because you are thinking to trust in your ordinary nature, who you are, Molly, Kim, whoever you are. We don't have great trust in ourselves, okay? We look in the mirror, we think, oh, this, that, and the other. But we have Guru Rinpoche inside us. We have Chenrezi inside us. We have Tara inside us. We have each of these deities are the qualities in the mandala of our heart. That's what we're offering. I want you really today to understand what I'm saying. Ask me, challenge me, question me. I'm very happy. And remember, everything I'm saying to you today is available. If you want it, I'll send it to Bernice, which I'll show it to you just now. I'll send it to Bernice and you can get it. Okay, she's always willing to give it to you. So there's nothing we haven't got. We've got all the prayers, we've got all the pujas recorded. You can get them on WhatsApp from me. You can get whatever you need. Just do a practice that makes sense and meaning to you. Do you all understand that? It's really important. Okay, so I'm coming to refuge in a minute. But looking at the three wheels of Dharma is how we can work out what practice do we want. Because in Hinayana, or it's sometimes called Sravakarayana, or sometimes it's called a few other names, that's where the Buddha gave all the rules and the regulations and the monks and the nuns and the outer practice and everything, because, you still needed a daddy. The Hindus in that time still believed in outer gods, so they needed that. That's what Hinayana does, okay? It's more that the shrine is out there, okay? It's all out there. You want something you can prostrate to, you can pay homage to. That's okay, as long as at the back of your mind, you know that none of these things exist as they are. Even Guru Rinpoche, they're all part of the Buddha nature. They're all part of your own awakened nature. So even if you want a daddy for that day or a mommy for that day, that's fine. But know that the mommy Tara you're calling, the mommy Vajrayogini you're calling, is in you already. So even if you do an external practice, you need to understand that. So then there's the Mahayana. The Hinayana is more for me to clear all my obstacles, to clear everything. And with the Hinayana, you usually need quite an elaborate shrine. I'm just going to go through those points for you. The elaborate shrine, something external, something that we all need a bit of an external shrine, okay, because it helps us to focus our minds. But when you come to Mahayana, now it's not only for you, it's for all sentient beings that you are doing it, and it can be elaborate or it can be not so elaborate. Then when you come to Vajrayana and you move up the 9 levels I was teaching you about, okay, you can go from elaborate shrines, elaborate outer things, to absolutely very, very simple, more internal. Now, you know how I can tell how I shifted? Because when I used to go traveling, you know, when we went traveling and everything, and I needed to pack my books that I needed and my prayers and my this and my that. So I used to pack a whole suitcase full of everything, okay? Then I used to come, if I was visiting my children, I came to the place. Then I had to put all the deities up so that I've got a shrine and put a candle and put water offerings and a few things like that. And then there's my shrine. Well, I don't need that anymore because I've got the shrine in my heart. So I can sit down anywhere or everywhere, and I can do my practice without anything, basically. I do need a few prayers. I take one prayer book and I take two other little books that I really need. And now I pack in, takes up that much space, what I pack in when I go away. So it's a moving to shift internally, and it's more secret. You no longer have to show it to everybody, and you can question me on this, because as long as we do the practice, we keep it absolutely alive, and we actually know that this hour that I'm doing, this half an hour that I'm doing, this 15 minutes that I'm doing, I'm going to take into the world. I'm going to take it into my daily life. Otherwise, it is of no use. If your little practice is something separate and you're saying to people, wait, I'll be finished my practice in 10 minutes and then I'll attend to you. You haven't managed to integrate it. Now, no, we need to do that in the beginning, but in the end, we need to really, really take. I can see that this week, there's few days at Umhlanga, no one's going to leave me alone for a minute, okay? And the thing is that it's fine. It's a special occasion. So I will do my practice internally. I will always do a guru yoga, which I'll go through quickly with you, but I will always do it, but it's internal. So wherever I am, whatever I'm doing with everybody is my practice. Can you all understand? It is so important. And Dzongsa Khyentse Rinpoche, who's really a great master, really says this, because we're changing our ordinary body, speech, and mind into Vajra body, speech, and mind, or Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya. We're changing it. Everything in the world happens from the three kayas: essence, nature, and manifestation. Everything happens and everything dissolves back when you die. So it's all about that. So can you all, is there anything anyone wants to ask or say or question or debate? Please do it, because this is your chance today. Then I'm going to go through a practice. When we come to the meditation, we'll do a little meditation. Anybody? Molly, Linda, Kim, Tamika, Avril, you always asking me about practice. Yes, please.
For me, it feels like you're putting in a tremendous amount of energy that's not flowing. It's not flowing. It's feeling, for me, I'm not overwhelmed, but I can see, I'm watching one or two faces, and there's one or two that are feeling overwhelmed. It's too much. Maybe do it more systematically.
I'm going to. I told you I'm going to. I'm just giving you, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm not leaving you like that. I'm going to do it. But the bottom line is that a lot of people here, and it's too bad the ones that are going to listen to the recordings, because the people who are here are the people that are going to get it, you know, all from me. But the bottom line is I'm just trying to give you a feel. You can drop every single word I've said now. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Do not feel overwhelmed. My purpose is to actually underwhelm you, to make you realize that whatever you do in the Buddhist practice is absolutely okay and wonderful. Okay? And so I'm trying to just give you the whole principle so you can feel it. And then once you can feel it, when I go through the specifics, you can actually see what I'm saying. Okay. Let's go through the specifics then. And then when we come to the meditation, we'll do it. If you want a shrine, You should have 7 offering bowls. Okay. You should have 7 little offering bowls. I'm going to try and take you here so you can see my little bowls, which are filled with water. Can you see them on the shrine? Behind me. I've got a candle and I've got 7 little bowls, and behind that I've got a Tara shrine. You don't need any of that. You just need your 7 little offering bowls. Can you all see when I lift the computer like that? Little bowls, not expensive, not anything. And I'll tell you why it's good to have the 7 bowls. Because there is something called a 7-branch prayer. Okay, I know a lot of you know it. And the 7-branch prayer actually contains the whole of the practice you need. Okay, so it's really nice when you take your water. The thing isn't charging. Let's hope it lasts. When you take your water into your little 7 bowls, and you can do the 7-branch prayer. So take down each detail. Number 1, as you're filling it, I pay homage. That's your refuge. I pay homage to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Into the 2nd bowl, I make my offerings. Now, what I usually do when I'm pouring the water is I say, I make my offerings of the mandala of my heart. Quick, okay? Then in the 3rd bowl, I ask for forgiveness for all the wrongs I've done. In the 4th bowl, I really rejoice in the good of others. That's where your bodhicitta is coming in, which is doing it for all others, okay? And in the next bowl, I ask you to remain for us. In other words, you're saying to all the teachers, all the Buddha, remain for us. I ask you to remain here for us in the next bowl and turn the wheel of Dharma, which is I'm asking you to bring the Dharma to everyone on this planet. And the last one, I dedicate this for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings. So it's actually got your whole practice when you do it, and you can just do that, and then you've done most of the things that you're doing. If you want to go into more detail, that's what I'm going to give you, okay? But that's really quite important, because when I do the offerings into the 7 bowls, it's really important because I'm really doing everything that is asked me. I pay homage to you, which is when you bow and you take refuge. I offer you the mandala of my heart. I really ask for forgiveness for all the wrongs I've done. I rejoice in the good and beauty of others. And I ask you to please remain for us and turn the wheel of Dharma in the next thing. And I dedicate this for all sentient beings. So it's got everything you need. Now we'll give you the 7-branch prayer. Bern, just put up that one of Guru Rinpoche gave. He calls it an 8-branch because you can separate them, but just see it as a 7-branch prayer. If you can do that Guru Rinpoche one that I sent to you, it's really a beautiful one that Guru Rinpoche gave, and let's do it together because it's really nice. There we go. Daily apology. He's put it in 8 branches because you can split up, but let's just think of it of your 7 bowls. Let's do it together. Vajramaster, glorious Buddha, abiding throughout the 3 times, to you I bow down. Now you're not bowing down externally, you're bowing down internally for those of you who don't like bowing down. With undoubting mind, I take refuge in those who are the basis for the teachings of the 3 jewels. Third, please accept the pure offerings, actually present and mentally created. You can do it all in your mind, okay? And mentally created. Bern will send this to you, so don't worry about it. If you want it, you just ask her, okay? The hindrances, got a double D, that obstruct the river of accomplishment, okay? Please, I've done so many hindrances and misdeeds. I rejoice in the unattached practice of the Dharma of threefold purity throughout the 10 directions. Got the explanation at the bottom. I'm not going to waste time because we don't have time. Generating the resolve toward complete enlightenment, pure and free from the defilement of the 4 limits, I offer my body of 3 purities to the Sugata and Bodhisattvas, and all the virtue from all lifetime I add up and dedicate to supreme enlightenment. Now, there's a beautiful prayer if you want it all. I mean, you could even just put your water in and say that prayer if you want it. There are millions of those 7 branch prayers. They're all over every book, every practice, everything. If you look in your Tren Resi practice, you'll find it there. You find it all over, okay? But that is, thanks, Bern. Don't do that now. That is the 7 branch prayer. Okay, because when you've got the 7 branch prayer, I like to start my practice with that and then take refuge. Now, if you don't like doing prostrations, don't do them. If you hate them, don't do them. If you like doing them kneeling, do them kneeling. Even my doggies do them every day, okay? If you like to do full prostrations, do full prostration. The reason you are doing prostrations is not to bow down to any Buddha or any outside person. It's to remind yourself of the refuge prayer, what you are taking refuge in. That's why you do prostrations now. And you could choose your prayer. I've got a whole lot of prayers, outer, inner, and secret. You want them, you get them. Okay. But the bottom line is, you do not, I mean, I did 110,000 prostrations when I was doing my Nondra. Okay. You can do prostrations, but people, a lot of Westerners get very overwhelmed. I don't care if you do 3 prostrations. I don't care if you do 9 prostrations. I don't care if you do 12 or 20 or whatever you do. I'm just saying to you that when you do the prostrations, you want to have your mind in exactly the right place. Okay, you want to have your mind in the right place. You don't just want to come into your little shrine where you've made, you can make your offering bowls, a little candle, a little incense, a little Buddha if you want, and you've got a shrine. If you want to add, you can do a mandala offering, you could do a few other things. They're all the Tara offerings. It doesn't really matter. As long as you've got a simple little shrine, it's fine if that's good for you. And you are prostrating before it to remember your Buddha nature. And really, to me, if you do 1 heartfelt prostration, it is better than 110,000 or 500,000 of mindless prostration because you were told in the Nondra to do it. Okay, it's good if you go to the Nondra, and those of you that are not doing Nondra, you'd really, like Avril, I know you weren't doing it after a while. It's really good to watch in the newsletter when Alan's doing it, because Alan gives you full explanations of these things. So even if you're not going to do long prostration, if you want to do it according to the Nondra, you've got it in your Nondra prayers that Alan will give everybody, okay? Or Bern can give you as well. Then it's quite a long prostration thing that you do, and you can learn this from Alan, and Alan will record it. You can take it home and learn it. It's such an amazing thing because you've got outer refuge, you've got inner refuge, and you've got secret refuge. Now you can do that in absolutely and totally 4 lines for each, which will take 1 minute. So if you want to, when you do your prostrations, you can do the whole bang shoot of what they teach. You can get that from the Nondra, but if you don't, you can go, I watch my hands, I take refuge in the Buddha, your hands above your head. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. And you can do your prostration. Okay, that is fine. If that's as far as you want to go, That is absolutely fine. Okay. If you want to do that and you still want to take a more inner refuge, you can say, I take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Yidam, I take refuge in the Dakini. Who are these three? Well, the Guru you all know about. The Yidam is your deity practice, and the Dakini is the one who protects the Dharma. So you're taking refuge in all of them. So you could even do 3 prostrations, and you could start with outer refuge. I take refuge, we'll give it to you now. I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Sangha, in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. Then you could do the second one. I take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Yidam, I take refuge in the Dakini. Or just one of them. I'm very happy with any ones that you do. And then the inner refuge. Now, the inner refuge is very, I do the inner refuge lots and lots and lots. You don't have to do it, Bern will show you, but just to explain it and then put them up, Bern. Just to explain it, the inner refuge is, I take refuge, you're taking in the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya. So I take refuge where you said there, in the Nirmanakaya, in the Sambhogakaya, where the energy and the speech is, in the Dharmakaya, in your heart. Now that is very, very beautiful, because that is really taking your inner refuge. Now I do all 3. I love it that I do all 3. It's really, really nice. Can you put it up, Bern? The refuge. Have you got it there? Just put up the refuge. I'm just trying to do it as simply as possible. And you must decide. Okay. Now, also I said to Bern, in the Dorji Chung, there is that beautiful refuge. You can just use that if you want. That Sangye Chodang Chochi, you can do it without the Tibetan. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. Through the virtue generated by this meditation and mantra recitation, may I achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of beings. Now that's got bodhicitta, which is your promise to help beings, and it's got your refuge. So that's a beautiful prayer from the Dorji Chung. If you do that 3 times, you're covered. If you do prostrations with it, you're covered. You can take any of these prayers. There are millions, okay? And then if you want to do the Guru Yidam Dakini, in this book, they also give you a beautiful one of the Guru Yidam Dakini. It goes like this. And Bern, if anybody wants it, we can send it to them. Okay, it goes like this. Sorry, just looking for it. It goes like this. Okay. Master, please listen to me. Assembly of Yidam, this is the Yidam Guru and Dakini. Yidam deities, gathering of Mandala deities, Dakinis and retinue. Please listen to me. From this very moment and until attaining the supreme Vidyadhara level of Mahamudra, you give your name, take refuge in the root of the lineage, all the sublime and holy gurus. I take refuge in the source of accomplishment, all the assembly of Yidam deities. I take refuge in the bestower of excellent blessing, all the Dakinis. Now, you don't even have to do that, only if you want to. But you could just say, I take refuge in the Guru, Yidam, and Dakini. Finished. If you want to, you don't have to. And the last one, which is really, really beautiful, is the real inner refuge. I stand there and I go, in the empty essence, Dharmakaya, in the luminous nature, Sambhogakaya, in the manifold capacity, Nirmanakaya, I take refuge until enlightenment. That's a beautiful inner secret refuge. Okay. Now, if you want it, ask Bern. She'll send it to you with pleasure. But remember, what we're talking about can take 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, I'm just giving you all the options that you want, and you make your decision. So you can do your outer refuge, you can do your inner refuge, Guru Yidam Dakini, or you can do your secret refuge, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Niyamanakaya. You can do whichever refuge you want. It's only to remind you that there's a place of trust. What you're saying is, I don't trust what's going on in our world. I don't trust the people that are lying to us and doing all these terrible things. I don't trust any of these dictators that are in the world. I trust in this. This is what I want. And that's what you're doing with the refuge. It takes 3 minutes for you. And the bodhicitta, you can have any of the prayers for the bodhicitta. It's really, really easy. Don't give them the inner bodhicitta now, Boone. Okay. But with the bodhicitta, you can make your own prayer. If that's what you love, you can say, I take refuge so that I can help all sentient beings everywhere with whatever I'm able to learn. That's my own prayer. If you want a prayer that they give, you could do it. In the refuge prayer of the Dorji Chang, it's already in there. If you do that little prayer, you could do it in English with pleasure. But you're just saying somewhere along the line, either in your offerings, in your Siddharad prayer, I'm doing this for the sake of all sentient beings. That's your bodhicitta vow. Okay. Very simple, your refuge and your bodhicitta vow. When I've done all of that, which takes exactly 3 minutes if you do it, I do quite a few prostrations and I do inner refuge, secret refuge, outer refuge. I do all of that when I'm doing it. You don't have to. If you want to do it for 3 minutes, you do it for 3 minutes with a few prostrations. If you're not well enough to prostrate, then you could do it just with your hands sitting on a chair. That's fine. You just imagine it. Okay. And then I always give my own short prayers there. You're welcome to, you're welcome not to. I like to give my own short prayer. So I always say, when I'm finished doing my last prostration, I get up and then I say, and I dedicate all these prayers. And then I say all the causes that I want, like I dedicate them. I say it for my family, for my children, for my grandchildren. I give all the different prayers for our center, for our land, South Africa. But those are my own made up prayers. Okay, I'll give those a few times a day. But the point is that if you want to do your own prayers, you just say, I dedicate my practice to my children, grandchildren, blah, 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 whatever you're doing. That's absolutely fine. Okay, if you don't want to do any prayers, you don't need to. I'm just telling you that's where I do my prayers, my short own prayers. Okay. And then if you want to do the Dorji Chang, you do it. If you've got lots of time, you could do it in the English. It's fine. We can give you the English version of the Dorji Chang with the song if you want to do it, plus the prayers. You've got all that, Boone, haven't you? Yeah, so you can get it whatever you want. It's nice to do the Dorji Chang, but you don't have to. If you've taken refuge and you've done bodhicitta, it depends how long you want to spend on your practice. But I always do Dorji Chang, and then I do the 4 limitless contemplations. May all beings, have create good causes, blah, blah, blah. I always do the four, limitless contemplations. I like that. You don't have to. I'm giving you if you've got time. But all of what I've told you will only take you so far, about 5 minutes. That's all. Okay? And you can do the Dorji Chang or just the refuge and the bodhicitta part. It doesn't really matter. Now, just the next thing before we go to the meditation. A mandala offering. Should you do a mandala offering? Yes. But you do not need to do the whole mandala offering from the Nondra. Okay, if you do the mandala offering from the Nondra and you go learn it from Alan and you do it properly, that's fine. But that's another whole story. If you take the Tara prayers, for example, I was looking this morning, there is a beautiful little mandala offering that Tara gives, 4 lines. So all of this is, I'm giving you long explanations so you understand. But all of this is not going to take you more than about 6-7 minutes. Okay. Now, in the mandala offering, you can go to the prayers burn and get the mandala offering. It just goes like this. Hum. Okay. And you don't have to do it in Tibetan, but it goes. The splendor and wealth of the worlds and their beings in the 3 realms, my body, possessions, and all my accumulation of good karma, I offer to the embodiments of compassion. I pray you accept them and give your blessing. Om Sawa Tathagata Retna Mandala Putsa Hum. You get it from the Tara thing. So but if you don't want to do the set one, while we do these hands, you've got your 2 fingers right in the middle, okay? And you've got the others held down. This symbolizes Mount Meru, which is the center of the universe, and all the 4 continents around Mount Meru. So it's symbolic. You don't have to do it, but it's nice if you do it like that. And it's nice if at the end you give it. I have no problem if you make up your own mandala offering. It's perfect. You can go. Everything that I have, my home, my food, my children, my practice, my teaching, my counseling, I put this all into a beautiful mandala and I offer it to you. That is fine. Why do you do a mandala offering? You do it because it accumulates generosity. And in James, so do the Buddhas need our offering? No, not at all. But because of your generosity, you get something back. So it's a reciprocal process. The mandala is the mandala of all the universes that you are offering. You can put in it, if you've got a beautiful garden, you can say, I offer all the flowers in my garden. Okay. You can offer whatever you've got. I offer all my beautiful dresses in the cupboard. I offer my shoes if you're a shoe person. You can offer your talents. You can offer your work. You can offer your money. You can offer what you like, okay? As long as you're giving from the heart and you're going to get back. And that accumulates merit and wisdom. Merit and wisdom, okay? So it's really important. Jeez, it is taking me long and I really want to give you all of this. Merit and wisdom. So it's really nice to do a mandala offering, even a little one from your heart that takes a quarter of a minute. Okay. Because I'm telling you all these things that you need, but they can be as quick as a wink. And if you do them from your heart, I am more than happy. If you want to do the prayers from one of the texts, you want to take your Chenrezi text and do it from there, you could do it beautifully. If you don't want to do any of these and just do your Chenrezi practice, it's got all of this in it. I just want you to be aware that you are doing this. And then I would recommend, so by now it might have taken 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever, to do what I've given you. Then you're going to do just a few minutes of shamatha. So let's do it while we're here. Just a few minutes. I don't care if you do 3 minutes of shamatha. But if you do 3 minutes, you better be present when you do it. Okay, not 3 minutes of distracted shamatha that is of no benefit whatsoever. Just even 3 minutes. So you gong yourself if you've got a gong. Get into a lovely meditation posture. You've done all your offerings. You've done your own little prayers. You've done a mandala offering. You've asked for forgiveness. You've done everything that you can. Like e.g., I had this terrible neck pain. So what I did was last week when I was doing my meditation, I said, Medicine Buddha, I've given you to so many people, and I do not want to go to a chiropractor, and I do not want to go to anybody. So I'm asking you to heal my neck. And then I said what I thought the karma of my neck could be. So I said, I ask for forgiveness for being a pain in the neck and for not joining my heart and head at times, even in the past. And this pain is very strong, and I'm going to do you in and out of everything that I do this whole day. Anyway, so I did. And guess what? It's reduced, absolutely almost gone. Okay. Every minute of the day, I just poured blue healing over my neck and went back to the mantra. Then I went and counseled. Then I went back to the mantra. Then I went and showered, and I went back to the mantra. And it's healed. And I asked for forgiveness for being a pain in the neck and for not connecting my head and heart at any time in the past, in any time. So when you're doing your meditation, bring yourself to your breath. In and out, and in and out, and really visualize your Dharmakaya sky-like mind, huge, blue, absolutely limitless, open, spacious, and just let the dawning as you're breathing in and you breathe out all your negative karma, your negative thoughts, your negative everything. Have the feeling that there's enough space in this beautiful, beautiful Dharmakaya to accept everything you're going through. Your fears, your anything. You're just breathing in. You're seeing this beautiful sky, and you're just letting go of your tensions, your rushing, your angers, your pains, your fears, your beautiful thoughts. You're just letting them all go into the sky-like nature that you are. And you're just sitting with total wakefulness, awareness, mindfulness, knowing I'm doing this for 3 minutes and I'm totally present. And I'm just watching how the feelings come and go and come and go. And I'm aware that all the feelings are just coming out of my essence. They have the same nature. Everything is pure and whole and good. And I'm breathing in and out and bringing all my energy into the central column. And I'm at peace, even if the world around me is in total chaos. Yeah, all noises as the mantra, the essence, everything. So you're going to do 3 minutes of shamatha, and then even 5 minutes would be nice if you can. And then you're going to go straight into your contemplation. So this is where the 4 mind changes come in. So you're going to take one of the mind changes at a time. One into your meditation every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every second day. I don't care. Just remember the 4 mind changes. How precious this human life is. How everything is impermanent. And then your death comes. How karma is just rolling over on a relative level. So I must stop doing the negative conduct. And when I die, it's too late. So I can't do it. So I'm not going to do any of that. I'm watching my karma. And the 4th one is that this life is like an executioner's place where everything is suffering. And if you just go on with this life, you're going to be like at an executioner's chopping off your head. So now those 4 mind changes, just take one of them, the beginning one, the preciousness of human birth, let's say, and expand it. See how lucky you are, how precious everything is, how when you're going through pain and loneliness and all of those kind of things, but you're saying, gee, this is exactly what I need. Why do I need it? Because I couldn't look deeply before. You do precious human birth for a good few sessions, or impermanent for a lot of sessions, because impermanence is the most important thing in Buddhism. The fact that the emotions, everything is impermanent is the most wonderful revelation for us. Okay, so you do one of those meditations and one of the practices, one of the mind changes. Okay, now what is important, which I've taught a lot of, so I can just tell them to you, okay, and we can do it anytime. You need a short Vajrasattva practice of the 100-syllable mantra, a short practice. Now, I gave Bern a very short practice. You can even do a shorter practice. Just give them that one, the essence of Vajrasattva. I mean, this is Tulku Urgent. It's absolutely amazing if you just look at it. It's the 100-syllable mantra, but you must include this for your cleansing. Okay, there it goes. Just hang on, go down, 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 first bird, up, up, sorry, up, 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 to the one before. Just hang on. There's one before that, Bern. Just go there, there, there. Oh, that's the mandala offering. That's also a very short mandala offering of space and awareness, which is lovely. It's also within the space of emptiness, our places heaps awareness resting freely. This mandala of undivided space and awareness I offer to the Sugatas of primordial purity, Guru Mandala Puja Ho. That's from before, okay? Let's just go to the Vajrasattva. Bern, can you get me the 1 4-line Vajrasattva that I sent you about this ordinary body of momentary delusion? I'm just giving you short things, and then I'm giving you one that is a little bit longer, whichever one you want. Whatever you do, I sent it to you first. Whatever you do, you need some Vajrasattva. Why? Because Vajrasattva is right in the center of your heart, and you need to cleanse. And the 100-syllable mantra is the 100 qualities within you that you are cleansing. Bern, it's in those other ones that I sent you.
I never got anything else. This is all I got on the Vajrasattva.
I sent you a little paragraph.
This one. This?
No,
that's all I've got.
It's got this ordinary body of momentary delusion is a primordial pure body of light in a state of brightness. It's in those other ones. I visualize distinct and perfect, the naturally present Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva Ah. It's in those other ones I sent you with everything. Would have been.
Can you resend it? I haven't got it.
Bern, you've definitely got it. That mandala offering that you just showed, it came before that.
What came before was the mandala offering, and this one. Oh, this one. Essence of Vajrasattva.
Exactly.
Okay, I've got it in the wrong place. Okay, I'll move it. Sorry.
So that's a very easy Vajrasattva. If you haven't got time, you can go. This ordinary body of momentary delusion is a primordially pure body of light. In a state of brightness, I visualize distinct and perfect the naturally present Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva Ah. It's given by Tulku. And then you do that mantra. Om Vajrasattva Ah. Om Vajrasattva Ah. And you imagine Vajrasattva above you, cleaning you with pure white light and cleaning all your obscurations and cleaning absolutely everything. That is a short practice that you can do if you don't want to do the whole Vajrasattva. But the whole Vajrasattva, Tulku Urgent Rinpoche also gives a lovely one. Just go now further to where it was a visualization. Yeah. Okay, put it down. You could do it in English. No, go up, Burn. The beginning of that. No, up. Okay, there we're going. Yeah. The visualization and recitation of Vajrasattva, Burn can send it to you if you want it, and you could do it in English. Ah, above my head on a lotus and moon is the wisdom form of all Buddhas. Vajrasattva, great bliss, stainless as the flow of the autumn moon. Okay, you can also do this from the Nondra, but I'm giving you a shorter practice. His two hands holding Vajra and bell joyfully embrace Atopa, his own light, adorned with silk and jewel ornaments, and with his two legs in a Vajra posture. And then you visualize and you have absolute remorse for all the horrible things you've done. Go up, Burn. Continue. In the center of the moon disk in his heart is Hung, the heart life of all Sugatas, encircled by the 100-syllable mantra. By chanting, light shines forth, fulfilling the two goals. Upon its return, a stream of nectar flows down, entering through the crown of my head. It purifies evil deeds, obscurations, damaged and broken vows, making me pure and immaculate. And then you can do Om Benzo Sato Sammaya Manupalaya Benzo Sato. You do the 100-syllable mantra. I don't care if you do it 3 times. I don't care if you do it 10 times, 20 times, depending on how you want to clean yourself. But it's all there, and the 100 syllables is all the aspects of your own awakened heart. Go up, Burn. Or you can recite this, or you can do Om Benza Sato Om, or Om Vajrasattva Ah, which I just gave you now. Ah, so Om Benza Sato Ah, or Om Benza Sato, either one, Om Vajrasattva Ah, is fine. And you can lament all your bad deeds, and then in the end you just say, protected due to my ignorance and delusion, I've gone against and broken the samayas. Guru protector, I'll go quickly now. Please grant refuge, supreme Vajra holder, with a nature of great compassion. To you, the leader of beings, I go for refuge. I openly admit all damaged and broken samayas, both the root and branch samayas of body, speech, and mind. Please cleanse and purify all the negative actions, obscurations, failings, and stains I have gathered. And that's it. And then right at the bottom, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted by this prayer, and with a smiling face, he says, son of noble family, all your actions, obscurations, and failings are purified, thus absolving me. He melts into me and blesses my nature. That's a beautiful practice if you want. If you don't want, you can do that 4-line practice. If you don't want to do the 100-syllable mantra over again, you can go Om Benza Sato Om Ah, or Om Vajrasattva Ah. Om Vajrasattva Ah, Om Vajrasattva Ah, go round with Om Vajrasattva Ah. That's fine. Imagining that pure thing going over you. So far, it will have taken you, I'm sure, about 20 minutes. Okay. And then you need to do a Guru Yoga practice. I don't mind if you do a 5-minute Guru Yoga practice, a 20-minute Guru Yoga practice, and you can go back and get my notes on the Guru Yoga. You can go and listen to the whole session. You could go and ask Nadine to send you the Guru Yoga practice. But in the Guru Yoga practice, you are seeing the Guru. You could see Padmasambhava giving you body, speech, mind, and all together as I've taught you. and you just do that Guru. And I don't mind if you do it. They're very short practices. You can go, Vase empowerment from the Guru's head into my head, cleansing my body, cleansing the nadis, defeating, I like to say which Mara it's defeating. You don't have to have, you can say white into my head, cleansing my body, cleansing all of that, and that's that. Into my throat, red, cleansing my speech, cleansing the prana, and being able to give me the Sambhogakaya end. Into my heart, that's into my throat, into my heart, cleansing my mind of all its obscurations, cleansing the bindus, and then and getting the Dharmakaya, and then all together. Now, when you do the Guru Yoga, we've got it, and Bern's got Guru Yoga practices, and I've done this with you, so you can really do it, and you can do a very quick practice. I mean, all told, this can be a very quick practice. And if you're using Guru Rinpoche in your Guru Yoga, it's good to add the 7-line prayer, or some days to do the 7-line prayer. Now, next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, when I come back the week after, I'm going to do a lot of teaching at night on the 7-line prayer. So you will get that teaching. You can get it all over. It's all there. I'm just giving you an idea of doing a half an hour or 45 minutes practice or 20 minutes practice, having all these things. And then, of course, you can do a deity practice, or you can just do, when I don't do my full Tara, then all I do is I put Tara in front of me, white Tara, green Tara, I offer to them, and then I do just a refuge prayer, and I just do, the 7-branch prayer of Tara, and then I just do 3 praises of Tara, and then I just do the mantra, and then I dedicate. So that takes me about 7 minutes to do. Now you can do that with Chenrezig as well. You can use Jawakionji Mago Kundo Ka, and then you just do Om Mani Padme Hum, and you dedicate. You can take any of the deities, the medicine Buddha. There's a short medicine Buddha practice that Trengri Rinpoche gave, and then you just do the mantra, Om Ben Zasad, not Om Ben Zasad, I'm doing too many mantra, but the medicine Buddha, Bekanze, Maha, Bekanze, Rajasuman, Gade, Soha. You can take one of the deities, you can do a 5-minute practice and dedicate, but know what you do. You could do any of the mantras. The 7-line prayer is really good to include whenever you can. I always include it. But today, I've got to end now for all of you that are in a rush, and some have already gone. You've got to really just see that you've got to have refuge, the 7-branch prayer. You put your own prayers in, the Dorji Chung if you want, a little mandala offering there, all short, little shamatha, 1 contemplation of a mind changer, a short Vajrasattva, a short Guru Rinpoche, a short Guru Yoga, and dedicate, and maybe 1 mantra if you want. Now that you can do really in a half an hour to say 35, 40 minutes, or even less if you do it shorter or longer. But whatever you do, even if you can't finish that in one of your practices, Tulku Urgent says, take what you're doing, go to work, go and do what you have to do, and just come back to it when you can. You can take it with you. So like when I was doing that, when I wanted the medicine Buddha to heal me, I was doing it all day. Every time I finished, I just went on. Tiata Om Bekanze, Ma Bekanze, and I thought about the blue light. Then I did this, then I did that, then I saw somebody, then I did this, and I did it all day, and it healed me. It's understood that we're all busy. Just put your practice in. These main things that I've given you need to be included. They can be very, very short. They're very short practices. So let's end, and then I'll stay if anybody wants to ask me. Let's just dedicate to all sentient beings. May this Dharma go out. May it help all the beings in the wars, in the trauma, in the in everything that is going on this earth, in everywhere, let all sentient beings benefit from every one of our prayers. Through this merit, may we achieve all-seeing Buddhahood, and thereafter, once all harmful enemies have been defeated, may all beings be liberated from the ocean of existence, stirred by the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Sonam die tamje zipane topne nepe dranam pamshene jegana chi balak topaye sipe sole dua warsho. Never forget your dedication at the end of whatever you do. Even if you do 5 minutes of practice, the dedication at the end, you can do that, or you can just say, if you haven't got time, I dedicate everything I've prayed for the sake of all sentient beings. So I'm going to stay, for those that can stay, a little